Hello and welcome to another episode of Your Content Factory. My name is Blake, and thanks for tuning in. Again, here at Blueform Media, we are the foundation for your content creation, so thank you for tuning in. Hopefully this podcast enlightens you in some fashion or some way, or a minuscule amount of enlightenment is bestowed upon you that you will be blessed by. I hope this information is at least valuable to you, at least not... at least entertaining, at least. How many times can I say at least? I don't know. Let's keep going. But yeah, I'm excited today. It's just after Halloween. Today's November 1st. If you're watching this, it's probably a couple days later. So good for you. I got my fall attire on. It is the season. It's toasty. I got some coffee. I just want to shout out coffee beans. Thank you, coffee beans, for being great. I have here a cup of coffee. I'll talk about the cup in a second, but it's interesting. Sometimes I'll be drinking coffee or something. Like I'll have a cigar in my hand. I'm like, man, this cigar, it took like 500-600 steps to make this cigar, and it aged for X amount of years. Or I'll be looking at a bottle of scotch. I just love stuff like that. I like thinking about the process of something and how long it takes or how it came to be. And I was thinking about coffee today because pretty much the Industrial Revolution was on the shoulders of coffee. Coffee carried that thing across the finish line. Because before that, people didn't have reliable drinking water. Not all, it wasn't guaranteed. So getting sick was pretty much guaranteed. So people, to purify their water or to just drink, they drank a lot of alcohol because it was fermented and safer to drink. So that's why I think to this day, I might be wrong, but that's why beer is cheaper than water still in Germany, at least. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't been there for like a decade. But yeah, so that's kind of how Europe was. They didn't have good drinking water, through all the Middle Ages, and so they fermented things. That's how they drank. And then coffee comes along, and instead of alcohol, like alcohol we all know is a downer, right? So you're kind of like, oh, I gotta hydrate, so you show up to work a little buzzed. It's not conducive to like a industrial revolution environment when everybody's buzzed. Like go operate heavy machinery while you're on alcohol. It's just not good. So, but coffee on the other hand, that enables the employee or the forklift operator to really just be on his game. So coffee comes along, I think. I can't remember the exact history, but they sailed way across the ocean. They picked it up on their ships and brought it back, and they're like, hey, this coffee shit is pretty good. So they ended up having to boil water, which obviously makes it safe to drink, and use coffee, which is also, caffeine. So it's a little bit of a neural stimulant, kind of wakes you up. And we all know now from Andrew Huberman, it just blocks certain science in your brain. So it tricks your brain that you're not tired, but you are. So science on top of some science, and then so there's some more science in there about that. So trust me. So that's what I was thinking about today about coffee. I was like, holy smokes, there's a lot of research done and like cool information out there about how coffee is linked to like a ton of technological and economical and industrial stuff going on, like the Industrial Revolution. So thank you, coffee, for all of that. All of you do. It's so weird though. We found this bean and we're like, let's put it in our drink. It's a magical bean. And it's delicious. So also thank you to Mallory for making me this coffee this morning. She is awesome. And I have a few shout outs today. I'm actually holding one of them. This cup that's holding my coffee. This is from a musician that I follow. His name is Militant Me. Chandler, if you're out there, bro, love you, dog. I salute you. But this is his cup, one of his songs. Let me hold it out there for you. This is a Han Solo pose. Like if this was a blaster. But this is his cup. This is from a song Enemy. And you can buy this on his store. But Militant Me, I served with him in the Marine Corps Infantry. Solid dude. Love him to death. And then he stayed in. He got smart, learned how to read gooder, and went to college and came back and I think stayed in the Marine Corps as an officer for many years. And then he just switched to the Army, completed his Special Forces training the Q course, got his Green Beret just this year, like over the fall. So that's a left-handed salute. That was for you, Ben. Anyway, he's also, during that whole time, he's been a solo metal artist, doing pretty well on Spotify and other platforms. Really good at content creation. So funny that I bring him up on a content factory, content creation podcast, but he is good, right? Because he understands that musicians these days, if you want to put music out there, it's you're more likely to make money off of merch, branding, and other things. I should just have him on here. Chandler, where are you? Come over here, dude. Get to Southern Utah, and I'll get you on like 30 podcasts, 35 podcasts. Why not? Why stop there? Anyway, awesome guy. Shout out to him. Every time I drink my magical bean juice out of this coffee cup, I think of him, and then I eventually go play his songs throughout the day. I pull up the playlist. So that's our first shout out. Militant Me. Check him out. Militant Me on Instagram, on Spotify, on everywhere else. So you'll find him. Then also, we have some shout outs too. We had a really cool experience about a week ago with Cody and Spencer with the Virtual GM podcast that we helped produce with them. They brought us out to Arizona. And Kyle. Of course, we can't forget Kyle. But Kyle's got Ramblin' Media. So we had a cool little trifecta going on. We had the Virtual GM podcast. We had Kyle with Ramblin' Media, excuse me. So Kyle and then us at Blue Forum. And we made a little chain gang, man. We produced 11 podcasts in under 2 days and got social media clips out like within 20, 30 minutes of a podcast releasing. It was up on Buzzsprout on all platforms. Video came later, but we had video, social media elements in there as well. It just was jiving. It was great, man. It was like a prison chain gang, really. Yeah. It was like prison. But yeah, shout out to Virtual GM. Yeah. That's for you guys. Cody and Spencer, shout out. But that was an awesome experience. I want to talk about that for a second, actually. So we traveled to Arizona. We brought an entire podcast studio with 4 microphones, 3 cameras. Unfortunately, we did have some technical difficulties with one of our camera inputs on our switcher. If you're familiar with ATEM Pro and ATEM Mini and all that, just ATEM, Blackmagic products, they're a fantastic company, fantastic stuff, but we did have an issue. I think the driver that picked us up slammed our podcast case down so hard that he broke it. But because I'm me and I know how to use the internet, I fixed it now that I'm home. So that was cool. But excellent experience. I mean, we got to go stay at the Waldorf in Arizona, one of the most like renowned, oldest and most renowned hotels in Arizona. I'm pretty sure that's where Marilyn Monroe and John F. Kennedy were banging. They had like a secret room and tunnels and smoke signals and hand signals, and they had it all. And the Biltmore, the Waldorf Biltmore, I think. I'm saying it wrong, but they had great drinks.
No, that's right.
They had cool pool.
Biltmore.
Yeah, one of the coolest interiors of like a foyer ever. It's just really cool architecture. Very communist-esque as well, but with style. So, yeah, those commies, sometimes they're just styling. They're just wiling and styling out there. Just, hammer and sickling it. So, shout out to Virtual GM for that. That was sick. Thank you. Yeah. Kyle as well with Ramblin' Media. Way fun to work with. Excellent dynamic. If you guys need social media stuff, if you need videography, Kyle's your guy. He's got an eye for it, man. Like, all he had to do is just, like, glance at my camera. He's like, like that. And he was like, that. He knew exactly what was wrong. He was color correcting us and shit. Because as podcasters, like, we got a lot to do. And when we set up this studio, we set it up one time and we forget about it. And it's really honed and perfect for this room. And so when we moved some of the cameras out, we forgot like our settings. Even forgot to like check white balance and just simple videography shit that we should know. We like forgot because we've set it up, and here it's in a controlled environment. But when you're on the go, yeah, it's a little different. So thank you, Kyle, for your knowledge. And that was a great weekend. We had a good time and very successful. So hopefully that grows into something else with the Bitac Convention. Shout out to them as well. Bitac, it's a place for like vendors in the hospitality space to come meet and make connections and do stuff. Great little event. What other shout outs we got? Oh yes. So the new plug I'm doing, again, this is just a club, just a hobby club, but we're hoping it leads into some branding with some of our other podcasts. But we've created the Red Smoke Tobacco Club here in Southern Utah. It's just a Facebook page right now, and that's all it's going to be. So we'll throw up some logos right here in this clip or whatever this ends up being. We'll throw some logos up, and you can just find us on Facebook, Red Smoke Tobacco Club. If you're here in Southern Utah, come smoke cigars with us. It's pipe smoke. It's just 100% like pure organic tobacco. And we just enjoy that in the form of pipes or cigars. So come on down and network with us. We have a lot of people here in St. George that are interested in this, that have expressed interest in coming. So we're going to do an event soon. And you can just follow the Instagram page, we might have an Instagram page because Instagram and Facebook are connected. They're kind of the same. So we'll have probably both of those. But find us on Facebook and then follow the page. And we'll get to puffing. We'll smoke some good old tobacco. And that has been a great hobby of mine recently. I have fallen in love with the cigar culture and just the expertise that those things are crafted with. All of the care from growing the seed all the way to the finished product where it's rolled by an artisan basically and given to you to enjoy. And the flavor profiles are amazing and it's great to sip on scotch with and have good conversations. So it's a good time. So if you're interested in that and you live in Southern Utah, or if you're nationwide and you still want to be a part of it, you can still join the page. And we are still shaping what kind of value we can add that group. So just join it, be a part of it if you want. And then we talked about Militant Me already. So that's our shout outs today. Any other shout outs, Mal, that you can think of?
Shout out Blake. He's really cool. I like him a lot.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah.
I know that guy.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
What a weirdo, dude.
Shout out to our employees, our interns.
Yeah.
We sincerely probably couldn't. We couldn't run our company without them. So we appreciate their work.
Seriously. So mainly Chantel Esplin, one of our original clip cutters for the company, helping us make this content factory real, right? Help Blueform land clients and everything. And then Anna Halford as well. Shout out to you. She cuts the clips for these. If you're seeing this content, it's her. So shout yourself out, Anna. Make this a great clip of you. Put your picture up there. Put all of your trophies, everything you've won. I don't know, whatever you'd put up there. But this is, she does a great job on these clips, and we just couldn't do it without you guys. And then we have 2 more interns that have just started with us. Shout out to Joseph and Marcus. Joseph's helping us out with some more visual and production stuff, hopefully. I think Marcus will do some production as well, but he is an audio guy. And so he's helping up with some audio books and just a very talented young group of people. We're going to see how they fit into Blueform and probably offer them jobs. So.
Apparently I'm feeling sentimental today, but shout out to all our clients and all the guests that come on and use their time to share their story. It's pretty cool.
It is. Yeah, we have a really good thing going. We do. Mal and I feel very grateful.
We work in a very cool industry.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It'll be like, 1:00 on a Tuesday, and we're sitting in our backyard getting some sun for a little bit because, working from home has its perks, but I'm sure a lot of you can relate to it. But we're like, man, isn't it weird that people come to our house and they talk into a microphone and they pay us for it? That's kind of a weird thing. It is weird, but it's awesome. Just remember this. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of congested today, so I apologize for the mouth noise if you're listening. But just remember this. It's 2023, and you can choose what you listen to more than you ever could before. You have complete control over what you consume as far as content goes. So if you want to be caught up in all the negativity that's going on, go for it. But you can choose to ignore that shit and just be positive, right? There's most of the stuff that we're all worked up about these days, no one can control anyway. I wish I could control. I catch myself wanting to get mixed up in these topics that are meant to divide and cause contention amongst us. That's what they're there for. And it doesn't matter if they're real or if they're not. If there's nothing you can do about it, why is it on your plate? Right? So just remember that. That's a little bit of hopefully some wisdom for you today. Just turn it off. Right? People are asking me, "Oh, what do you think about this latest conflict over in the middle?" Don't even care. Don't even know. Until it's going to affect me, I will care. And I don't want bad things to happen in the world. I'm not cold-hearted towards those things. I just don't trust anything on the internet anymore. I don't. If you've looked into AI, if you've looked into video techniques and editing, you are probably seeing something that's not real. I would guarantee it. With my background too, with the military and some other jobs with Uncle Sam, that's about as far as I'll ever say. Don't trust anything that you see on social media, on the news. It's meant to divide us. It could be really happening, but let me tell you, it's all quarterbacked. It's all orchestrated. Everything's happening. It's orchestrated. And people are like, not to go down a rabbit hole, but I'll leave you with this. People say to me, if we ever talk about these things, they're like, there's no way that humans can get that coordinated and be that good at keeping secrets and orchestrating all this stuff. There's no way. It's not possible. And then they walk away with their iPhone, or they have like a nice watch on, like a Rolex or something, or they get into their car and they start the engine. There's no way humans could ever organize like that. And then they start something or use a tool that required that kind of collaboration that they just denied humans could do. It blows my mind. If you don't think, look at a cigar artisan like I was talking about, or someone who hand makes like a Rolex or other high-end watches like Swiss watches, right? Something that's handmade. Like these guys have spent their life building a craft and they're pros. So if someone can do that, do you realize how good people are at stuff? And if they dedicate their life to a craft, you don't think that it's possible that other people could dedicate their life to a craft of espionage, sabotage, subterfuge, like all the ages, espionage, sabotage, like propaganda. There are professionals in this space, just like there's professionals in everywhere else. And if you have ever your mind has ever been blown by the craftsmanship of something, then you best believe that there are groups of people that can organize on this level and coordinate massive global events with all the technology that we have available and the technology that they never tell us about. That's all I'm going to say. So don't trust anything and just focus on what's good in your life. Focus on what you're doing. What are you doing right now? Focus on your content. Don't let these negative things creep in. I find this happening to me, and maybe I'm actually going to shift gears here, if that's okay with you, Mal. Of course it is.
I'm all, no.
No, you must.
Okay.
You must stay. But I'm going to shift gears a little bit because this has been weighing on me. Because I'm doing a lot of content myself now. This episode or this Content Factory podcast, and then another one with Authentic Identity, and then some hobby stuff. And it's just mind-boggling. I can't even talk. Let me calm down for a sec. It's just amazing how much negativity is pushed on you. If you're in this space and you have to be on social media and you have to be in these areas, get really good at building processes around this to avoid all that negativity. Avoid the mindless scrolling, wasting time, getting dopamine off of nothing, right? avoid that. It's really hard to, and I think we have a great handle on it here, but being in the content creation space, whether it's a podcast or whatever you're doing, sometimes just hearing what's going on in the world, you're kind of like, why am I doing this? What's the point of this? So I'm here to tell you right now, stay in the pocket. Do the content. Continue being consistent. Continue getting better. If you feel urgency to get better, that's a good thing. That means you're passionate. That means you can see and self-assess where you're at, and you could be better. Just keep going with that. Just keep doing it. Don't let negative comments on your shit get you down. Just know that every time there's a comment, it's a positive thing. They're boosting your algorithm. I said one piece of content that I did, just a little YouTube short, and this guy was going, I can't even remember what it's about, but he goes off and says, why does YouTube, he comments this, why does YouTube insist on putting this in my feed? And I commented back, I was like, well, you commented on this one, so now it's a guarantee the algorithm is going to feed you more. So foolish. What a fool. What a foolish man he was. So every comment that you get, every negative interaction on your social media or your content is actually positive, because to the algorithm, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. It's just you. It's your content. Is it grabbing eyeballs? Is it grabbing attention? And it's winning. So, yeah. So don't get down on yourself. I get down on myself all the time. I'm like, man. Every time I flip open my phone now, I see my bearded face on there, sounding like an idiot half the time. I'm like, oh man, I sound stupid. But of course, I'm very self-critical, like most people are. We're self-critical of ourselves more than others. But it's interesting. So don't let the world get you down. If you can't do anything about it, don't give it the bandwidth. Right? If the Middle East, I don't know what effects the Middle East this conflict is gonna have on us eventually down the road. But if it happens, it will happen. Is there something I can do about it right now? Probably not. Unfortunately. So if you feel like you need to pick a side, left, right, politically left and right, or this and that, or this country versus that country, or whatever's going on, just stay in the middle, man. There's certain things you need to be aware of, but don't let it be a detriment to your daily life. Keep living. They want you to live in fear. They want you to pause. They want you to hesitate on every decision you do. They want you to eat and drink the Kool-Aid they serve you. So stop. Just stop. Just unplug, right? So that's kind of a little message I've been thinking about. It's hard to unplug, though, if you're trying to make consistent content all the time. So just stay in the pocket and just keep going. That's more for myself to hear, but if that helps somebody out, then great. But there's a lot of hate and a lot of negativity out there right now, so just avoid that. So consistency, we talk about that a lot here on the podcast. What does consistency mean in your content? Means a lot of different things, but ask yourself that. How can I be more consistent? And we've talked about this at length, so we're just going to touch on it today. But building your processes, what does that mean though? Like scheduling that. What do you already use for your work? If you have a work or a business that you're running, if you have a life that you're managing, usually you have a calendar. So I think consistency starts with that calendar or a routine in the morning. Sometimes you don't have to write it down. If you need to start there, write it down and follow it to a T. Because I think you have to do something for about 90 days before it becomes like an actual ingrained habit, which makes sense because I never made my bed before joining the military. And then you go to boot camp in the Marines, at least it's 3 months. So 12, 13 weeks actually. And so that's just over 90 days. And I make my bed all the time now. Right. It's important to me. So that has become a habit of my entire life. So just think about that. Your consistency is based around whatever you manage your life with. Whatever calendar you have, start it there. And then once you have your consistency down, we've talked about that now for on and off for 13 episodes. This is episode 13. So that's 90 days as well. Speak of the devil. And we've been consistently dropping an episode once a week for those 13 weeks. And it's just a normal thing now. It's just on our calendar. So we're consistently dropping it. But the next thing I want to open up into, the next kind of segment or season of podcast I want to talk about is optimization. Because right now, that's where we're lacking. If I'm being honest, as a business owner, as a content media company, we have built an excellent process of consistent content through podcasting, video podcasting, and distributing that content in quantity. And I'll be honest, sometimes our quality is a little hit or miss because we're trying to wring every drop of content out of every single podcast. I think an hour, we're squeezing right now on average around 15 clips per podcast episode. That's 60 minutes of footage. And a lot of other creators and videographers and stuff people that I talk to or tune into, they'd be hard pressed to get 15 pieces of content. So I'll pat ourselves on the back a little bit. Does that mean every piece of content, though, all 15 vertical videos or whatever we get, are they just awesome? Sometimes, yes, the majority of them are bangers. They're great. But a lot of times they're not as well. They're medium. Hi, bud. Hey, how you doing? This is Blitz, by the way. If you can see him on the camera, he's a white German Shepherd, and he likes to hang out with me while we podcast. So anyway, he's a big guy. So is every clip going to be a banger? No, that's not the point. It's consistency over time. But if there's some horrible content, like I would just post a banger or like excellent content and like good content. And like don't even have a mediocre or a bad. So that was the question we've been asking ourselves now is like, is this doing... Yeah, we have the quantity down. We have the process to take an episode, take a recording like this, and put it through our process and get 15 clips or so out. But like, if only 8 to 10 of those are really good, like what's the purpose of the other 5? Right. So I think there is a line where quantity without quality is detrimental, or it's just spinning the wheels. Maybe it's not detrimental, but it's not pushing forward. It's not captivating. It's not bringing people and giving them reasons to stay. It's not giving them value in the actual content. Like if there's a podcast clip without a punchline, ooh, what is that? What does that serve? If there's not a call to action with a link or something for them to do or a way to find them or find more content, like if that's missing, then what's the point of the content, right? If it's not stirring conversation or stirring someone to go find you, the content is just kind of flat. In fact, that's what I'm going to label it now, Mal, is flat content. If the clip is flat, don't post it, don't make it. And when I say flat, it means it doesn't have a punchline, it doesn't have a hook, it doesn't have any of these elements that are needed to make it good. And so that's what we're starting to teach our clip cutters. It's like, hey, we got the quantity down. We've got quality as well, but intermixed in there is we could optimize. So we're going to scale back the quantity a little bit, up the quality, and still it's like a massive amount of quantity and quality. We're just kind of fine tuning those inputs, and it equals a better output, right? So. Also, to the optimization as well, what we're going to get into probably next episode is the optimization of those social media pages. That's where we know we are deficit as well, because we kind of we record your podcast, we post produce and finalize that podcast for social media and for distribution, and then we build the clips and the content out for social media. But we don't really have a social media strategy for our people. We just distribute in mass to their pages. And it's like drinking from a fire hose. It's like you have a nice aesthetic on your Instagram page, and blue form, we're going to shit all over it. If it's nice aesthetic and you don't have the process to keep like a variety of carousels and posts and other pieces of content, we come into your Instagram page and we're like, podcast clip, clip twice a day. And so people are like, oh. So then if you look at our client's feed, it's just gassed with reel after reel after reel. And to be honest with you, the only platform that really matters on is probably Instagram. YouTube Shorts, they just want shorts. They just want vertical videos. So you're good. TikTok, that's all they want as well. So the more you can do, the better. Same thing with like a Snapchat or Facebook as well. There's a section for that, right? Because they allow other forms of content. But Instagram is probably the most finicky. It's the most touchy. It's Instagram to me has really turned into like a business card. It's people like will not do business with other people based off their Instagram aesthetics. So this is where we need optimization. So if you're watching this episode and you would like to apply and be a social media strategist here at Blueform Media, we do have some need for that, and we'd love to talk to you, because that's kind of the next step in evolution for us, is how do we take this massive amount of content that we've produced, and how do we refine the quality and balance quantity and quality, right? So that's easy. We can do that with a couple phone calls. We've already been working on that. And then distributing is one thing, but maximizing that distribution and strategizing it is where we are deficit right now. So we got some things on the horizon for 2024. We're going to set up some things for the rest of this year and do that, but we're excited. So the next couple podcasts you're going to see from YCF, from this content factory of ours, is going to be geared towards optimizing content, making sure it's quality, making sure a clip or a segment of your podcast has captivating things, using AI to get the best keywords and titles inside of your content. So when it is posted, that search engine that we call YouTube can really pull some eyeballs for it. Because I think, Mal, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but our strongest social media platforms for every client across the board, including our own content, our strongest platforms are TikTok and YouTube, specifically YouTube Shorts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I concur.
And then Facebook as well does well with the short form content, with the vertical videos.
Yeah.
So Instagram is the one thing that requires a lot more attention. It's like that fussy little baby that just won't shut up, on the plane. Like, give that baby some attention, please. This is an 8-hour transatlantic flight, and your baby's colicky. That's Instagram. Instagram wants posts and carousels and reels, which require a lot more attention in the aesthetics, the branding, the design, the intention, the creation of it. So you almost need an entire team just for Instagram, right? And so that's where we're deficit in. So the other stuff is just you throw as much mud at the wall and see what sticks, right? YouTube Shorts, just throw as many in there as you can. Obviously, like, if the clip itself has all those elements where it is catchy and it's got good music and it's got great subtitles and good B-roll and like transitions to keep people's attention, those are all needed on every platform. So if you have that down, you're good. You're good. So that's where we're going to be growing into, is strategy and optimizing the content, because we got the content factory down, man. This factory is churning and burning. I mean, we're producing 9 podcasts currently and soon to be more. I mean, we got like 3 or 4 people on deck still, just waiting to pull the trigger. We currently have some potential sponsorships underway in the oven right now. And I'm sitting there with the oven mitts like ready. We're ready to catch that. So by the end of this year, it's going to be great. A lot of good things are happening with our company. If you've been tuning into these, thank you so much. But we're about to blow up. So this will be a clip in like 6 months. And we're like, remember when I said we're about to blow up? Cut back to November. Remember, the 6th of November. I think that's from V for Vendetta. But anyway, remember November, because I said it right here. You heard it here first, folks. We're going to blow up. So these sponsorships and other things are are building, and we're building this podcasting network with such a massive amount of quantity, it should be good. But we still there's always room for improvement. And so we're getting into audiobook space. We need to improve there. We're doing great. It's great quality, but we can dial in that process. We can dial in and optimize our content and offer better services for social media management and strategy. That's the next step for us. And then sponsorships as well. So we'll probably do some episodes about optimization and sponsoring. That's a little update about Blueform Media. Hopefully you got some value out of this episode. We're going to wrap it here, but remember, stay in the pocket, stay positive. Focus on what you can change. The media and all of the people, the talking heads all over the place, they're going to tell you to pick sides. They're going to tell you to do stuff. They're going to tell you they're going to rip us apart. Basically, they want us divided on every single issue you can think of. So the answer is just stay in the middle. Learn, be aware, be awake, and stay in the middle until you know it's absolutely time to make a decision. Stay in the middle. Just chill. Just relax. None of that news needs to even touch your ears for the time being. So focus on you, focus on your content, and keep tuning into your content factory so we can make content together and content. How many times can I fucking say content on this podcast? God damn it. I mean, that is what it's about. So maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay to say it that many times. Anything you would like to add, Mallory?
Appreciate the listeners.
We do. I do too.
Trying to be better at my gratitude. So there
Cool.
you go. Shout out to everybody. Again,
thank you for all of our employees and all the help they do with around here. And we're looking forward to a bright future. And that's it. We're going to sign off. Have a good one. Be safe. Wear your seatbelt. Wear your seatbelt and don't wear sunglasses, actually, because your eyes are the receptors of the sun, and they determine how much your body produces to help your skin. So if you wear sunglasses too much, you'll probably get cancer faster.
Remember, sunscreen is poison.
Yeah, everything is poison.
Everything's poison.
Everything is a lie. Everything is poison. Everything on social media is a lie. No, sorry. Everything that the news says is a lie. And yeah, sunscreen is poison, and coffee comes from a bean.
And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.